Hi there, and welcome to another one of my videos on the Language Paper 1 series. Today we're going to go through Paper 1 Question 5. In this video, I'm going to give you tips on how to answer the question, how to understand what you're getting marked for, and to develop an insight into the mark scheme. A lot of students just start writing, but have you really understood the mark scheme? What are you really getting marks? It's important to understand these questions. I'll be showing you how to break down the mark scheme. This is an example of a question given in the past. You're given two options: write a description of a fishing village as suggested by this picture, or you're writing about a story about an unlikely friendship. And you always get two options, either a description and a story. So now one might ask as to what's the difference? So what's the difference between the two? It's important to realize that when you're being marked, especially for question 5, it's the same mark scheme. The skills you need to demonstrate will obviously be description. Yeah. So when you're describing, what you need to aim for, be it in this form of a story or in the form of a description, you need to describe. So in order to describe, we need very close attention to detail. We need to think about a setting that we can describe. We need to think about a character. Is there a character or something of interest that we can describe? We need to consider points of interest. If I consider the image in front of me, I can see a rainbow, I can see the sky, I can see the boats. If I'm doing the description, these are things that I'm going to describe in detail. I might start off with the weather, the turquoise, blue sky. After I do that, I might describe the rainbow and how it creates a tranquil feeling, harmony, and this aura, this sense of energy is created from the rainbow, this positivity. It's like radiance, positivity, and vibrance. These are just my ideas that I'm thinking about. So then after I've done the description of the rainbow, I might zoom in to the boats, even the houses. I might describe the boats, how they might symbolize freedom, heritage of people who own these boats. I might physically describe the colors of the boats, the feelings that one gets around the boats. Then I might describe the houses. As you can see above, they're very colored. So that those who own these houses have a sense of freedom as they're watching over. Even when I come back to the boats, I might describe those who own the boats. So I might go into develop about the fishing tradition. After describing the houses, although we don't see it on the image, I might describe the pebbles in the sea. I might describe the water, how it's beautiful and how it stimulates those who visit, who gaze upon it. So already for the description, I've got quite a lot of ideas as to where I'm going to go with it. And one key detail that I would give after marking a lot of these papers is students often don't have a plan or a sequence. So we need to have a sequence, meaning you need to know what you're describing when you're describing. But when you're describing it, we need those details. So for example, if I'm describing the weather, I need to go into detail. It's as though you're zooming in to the image and extracting the information and really painting a vivid picture for your reader. And it could be, an example is, for example, when you're describing the pebbles or even the houses, going as far as describing the color of the houses, the brickwork of the houses, the structure of the houses. Is it ragged? Is it falling apart? Is it really ancient? So if I quickly put together an example of what it means to zoom in. The houses stood majestically gazing upon the sea. Its supremacy was vast. The houses were renowned as the protectors of the village. For the decaying bricks. To use a color here. So I might put something about the decaying bricks and what it represents. The decaying bricks reflected the proud ancient heritage fishing and the value it possessed in replenishing the soul. So I've gone into some details where I'm zooming in and explaining and trying to describe it with my ideas. So it might not be the greatest piece, but I've got something to work with. So we need to really think about zooming in, description, close descriptions, and not just jumping from one thing to another. So really focusing and describing things in detail. If we go through the mark scheme, I've taken a snippet from the AQA website. To get into the top band, you get marked for AO5 and AO6. So in order to get your marks for AO5, I'm going to remove this. Assessment objective 5. So you get marked out of 24. So it's 24 marks. So what do you get these marks for? It's for your communication. And then it says tone, style, and register are assuredly matched and purpose of the audience. You have to be able to write in a way that reflects the tone and style of creative writing. Just like the extract you saw or that you read in the beginning of paper 1, your writing should look somewhat like that. Being able to write with a purpose and describe. Extensive and ambitious vocabulary with sustained crafting of linguistic devices. Vocabulary is essential and it has to be extensive, so challenging. And linguistic devices. So when we say linguistic devices, similes, metaphors, sensory language, all of these figurative language techniques, yeah? So sensory language, etc. This is for content from the top part of the mark scheme. And then you look at here, we've got another keyword that says organization. So again, this is all for AO5. I'm going to put here, organization. So now this is like the technical aspect. It says varied and inventive use of structural features. Writing is compelling, incorporating a range of convincing and complex ideas. So we're really developing, not just describing on the surface level. Fluently linked paragraphs with seamlessly integrated discourse markers. So paragraphs and discourse markers. So that could be commas, full stops, semicolons. So being able to use a range of different structures. Varying fluent use of structure devices. So that could be use of semicolons, commas, making our writing seem fluent, seamless. It has a flow to it. So this is what we needed to get to the top of level 4 of the mark scheme. Vocabulary comes up on both sides of the mark scheme. We've got marks for AO5 and also AO6. What are you getting marked for AO6? You've got 24 marks for AO5 and then 16 for spelling, punctuation, and grammar. AO6, it's simplified into that, but it does have a bit more detail. 16 marks, and this is called technical accuracy. How accurate is your writing? You're getting marked for is, if you look right at the top, sentence demarcation is consistently secure and consistently accurate. So I'll put here well structured sentences. Always we need to write and check over our writing. Wide range of punctuation is used with a high level of accuracy. So punctuation. So we're talking semicolons, commas, colons, speech marks, all of these aspects in the right places. Uses a full range of appropriate sentence forms for effect. So we're not only using short or complex sentences, we're using a variety of sentences. So short sentences, compound sentences, complex sentences, vary your sentence types. And in my next video, I'm going to break these down. Spelling needs to be to a very high level. Then it says, including ambitious vocabulary. So if you are using ambitious vocabulary, you need to make sure it's spelled correctly and you're also using extensive, ambitious vocabulary. This one's important because vocabulary comes up for AO5 and AO6, which means it's essential. Doesn't mean you just learn words and throw them in where you want. It means that the words have to be used in the appropriate context. I'm just highlighting these as we're going round. What we've established is you're getting a mark out of 40. 16 marks are available for your spelling, punctuation, and grammar. Technical accuracy. For AO5, you're marked on your content organization out of 24 marks. So the whole of section B, you're marked out of 40. So we need to make sure we achieve as many of these marks as we can. And in my next video, I'm going to be showing you examples of really good pieces of writing, different strategies to answer this question, and ways to fulfill the whole mark scheme and skills required. How can I meet these skills? That's what I'm going to talk through in my next video. I hope you found that useful and it helps you understand question 5 a bit more. Tune in and stay active on my channel as there will be more videos coming up. Thank you for listening and I'll see you soon. Take care now. Bye.